Hello and welcome to StratNews Global. I'm Surya Gangadharan. We're going to talk about the Uyghurs today, and I have with me Mr. Omer Kanat. He's an ethnic Uyghur activist. He's been based in the US for many years, fighting for the cause of Uyghurs who are in East Turkestan, which has been occupied by China for many, many years, for many decades, in fact. And Mr. Kanat has been active in terms of trying to give a voice. Mr. Kanat, thank you and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So let me come to my first question. There is a lot of talk of genocide of Uyghurs being carried out by China. Exactly what does this mean? Is it about the killing of Uyghurs or is it something else?
Yeah, while there isn't evidence of mass killing, but what's happening is real genocide in East Turkestan, because it what the Chinese government is doing to the Uyghur people, what's happening there is perfectly fits to the definition of genocide under international law. Already the Western expert described the situation in East Turkestan as cultural genocide, ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity. But new revelation shows the Chinese government is imposing measures to prevent the birth among the Uyghur people, which fits perfectly to the one of the criteria of UN Convention on prevention and punishment of crimes of genocide.
Why is China doing this? Is there any specific trigger that has started them on this policy?
Why China is doing this? Because China wants to fully control, a total control on East Turkestan. And after Xi Jinping came to power, after Xi Jinping took the leadership of the Communist Party and president of China, the Chinese government began to forcefully assimilate the Uyghur people, because Chinese authorities started to consider Uyghurs as a security threat. As you know, East Turkestan was occupied by China in 1949. The Chinese government has been pursuing a policy of systematic assimilation. But in 2017, this policy of systematic assimilation turned into a cultural genocide. The Chinese government, the location of East Turkestan is strategically very important for China, and it's a very rich land with oil, gas, and all kinds of minerals. So China wants to, in order to realize its, especially the new initiative of Xi Jinping's initiative, uh, Belt and Road project, Belt and Road initiative. So they want to remove this security, the Uyghurs from the, eliminate the Uyghurs in East Turkestan, in order to remove all this security dangers for their realization of their China dream, or their Belt and Road initiative.
We don't have any reports of Uyghurs actually fighting back against Chinese oppression. Why is this so?
The Uyghurs have been fighting back for decades against the Chinese repression in East Turkestan. But since 2017, the Chinese authorities turned into East Turkestan into a totalitarian police state. They have been using the most advanced surveillance technology in order to monitor the Uyghurs, and in order to surveil Uyghurs. And they put more than 3 million people in modern day concentration camps. And those Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims who are out of the camps are under surveillance 24/7. and they are not using only surveillance technology in order to move every movement of the Uyghurs. They are sending millions of party activists to uh, to uh, to Uyghur homes to stay with them and sleep with them in the same bed and eat with them in the same room. So this is so there is no room for the Uyghur people to to do any to resist or any discontent. This is there is no room left, no room, because it's a police state, and every movement of every Uyghur, every single Uyghur, are being monitored by the Chinese authorities by most advanced surveillance technology.
Are you disappointed by the lack of reaction shown by the Islamic world? Countries like Saudi Arabia, for instance, they are all keeping quiet.
Yes, this of course the silence of the Muslim majority countries disappointed Uyghurs, and they are not only silent, but in some cases they are uh, supporting or you know uh, approving the Chinese attitude toward the Uyghur people. But they should know that China is not only insulting Uyghurs, or attacking Uyghurs' culture, Uyghurs' identity, Uyghurs' belief, which is Islam. They are not only trying to eradicate Uyghur culture, Uyghur identity, but they also this is also an insult against Islam and whole Muslims. They are burning Qurans, millions of copies of Quran. They are destroying, demolishing thousands of mosques. So it should, uh, uh, alert the Muslim majority countries, and they should act to prevent this destruction of Islamic culture and Muslims in East Turkestan. But unfortunately, until now, they are silent. And but recently, there are some movements in Muslim countries, among the Muslim population, among the civil society organizations. We hope that they will eventually wake up against this Chinese government's policy to eradicate, Uyghurs and Islamic culture. They should be, feel very insulted, because Chinese President Xi Jinping compared Islam to virus-like contagion, which should be treated, and also instructed the security forces in East Turkestan, Chinese security forces in East Turkestan, to show no mercy in eliminating this, contagion. So the intention of China is to eradicate the Islamic belief of the Uyghur people, and Uyghur identity and Uyghur culture by this policy.
Are you satisfied with the efforts now being made by the international community to try and put pressure on China to deal with the Uyghurs in a better way?
Yeah, we are very happy that international community started to act. US adopted, passed this Uyghur Human Rights Policy Act, and President signed it into law. Now it is, and also US administration uh, uh, imposed, sanction on Chinese officials and Chinese entities who are, involved in this, atrocities against the Uyghur people, and Chinese officials who are responsible in carrying out this repressive and very brutal policy, genocide against the Uyghur people. And we hope that other countries also follow the U.S. government in sanctioning, in punishing the Chinese government, and so the Chinese government, forced Chinese government to, stop this ongoing genocide against the Uyghur people. And also, we also want countries like India to act, because India has not even condemned the Chinese government's atrocities against the Uyghur people. Just condemn this genocide which is going on their on her watch in its neighborhood.
Last question, sir. Long term, do you think China's control over Xinjiang is sustainable, given the fact that they have other pressures in other parts of the country? Do you think their control of Xinjiang is sustainable?
In the long run, it is not sustainable, because Chinese government doing this, implementing this brutal policy against the Uyghur people. So that made all the Uyghurs, that united all the Uyghurs against Chinese repression and against Chinese government's this policy of eradication of the Uyghur culture and Uyghur identity. So in the long run, it will not be successful in achieving its goal, because it in history it showed, and also the Uyghurs are some examples that showed that it will not succeed in its policy. And also Uyghurs are have a rich culture, a long history. It is Uyghurs created their own states and empire in the past. So it's not very easy to, by putting millions of Uyghurs in detention camps to erase the identity of the Uyghurs from their minds, from their hearts.
And are you hoping that within China there will be some move to ensure that the Uyghurs get justice?
Yes, we are also trying to reach out to Chinese people. Our organization, the Uyghur Human Rights Project, my organization, has even a Chinese website. We are publishing our reports, our findings in Chinese as well, to reach out to Chinese people so they should know what's really happening in our homeland. Because many of them brainwashed by Chinese government's fake news and propaganda. So if they realize what's really happening in the region, so Chinese people, I hope the Chinese people as well will stand up against the government's this repressive policy in the region. There are in the of course in the diaspora we are cooperating with many Chinese the organization which wants democracy for Chinese people. We are cooperating with them in our activities. We are organizing joint activities with these Chinese dissident organizations. We hope that the Chinese people finally eventually learn what's really happening in the region and stand up against the Chinese government to stop its repression of the Uyghurs, to stop its genocidal policy in our region.
Well, let's hope in the current climate things for the Uyghurs improve. Mr. Kanat, thank you for your time and for giving us your perspective and your views. Lovely talking to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.